On this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, Turkey Time.
Welcome to the Crushing Debt Podcast with your host, Florida attorney Shawn, where our goal is to help you get rid of the financial bullies in your life.
So welcome back to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. My name is Shawn Yesner, owner and founder of Yesner Law, and I'm happy to have with me again George Curbelo, your financial coach. Welcome, George.
I am here, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm thankful, and I'm hungry. But yes,
hungry.
Here,
and we have another guest in studio, those of you watching or who will watch the video, because we will get them posted one day.
We will.
Welcome, Jacob, to the podcast. Come say hi to everybody.
Hi.
What do you want to say? Whatever you want. What are you thankful for? In the mic.
I'm thankful for shelter.
For shelter? So you're thankful that I keep a roof over your head? Okay.
That's a good one.
Well, Jacob can probably be joining us during the course of this episode. But yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about is every year for Thanksgiving, I kind of do a what are you thankful for episode. And obviously one of the things that we're thankful for are our sponsors. And so the first one is Mark Purvis. Mark is our editor, has been with us since the very beginning. His website is legacyspotlight.com. And so, if I want to create or share any of the stories that my grandparents told me, but I want to share them for my boys and for their boys or kids or daughters or whatever, then Mark can do that. Just go contact him through legacyspotlight.com. He's an Emmy Award-winning videographer, and he can help you capture those stories. And so we are very, very thankful for Mark Purvis, one of our Crushing Debt podcast sponsors. What else? So what are you thankful for this year, George? What has gone well for you this year?
Again, from a personal standpoint itself, I'm always grateful for my family, and the things that they've accomplished. We've got a high school graduate, that went to college for the first time for my oldest. I've got a high school bound, so 8th grade graduate, went to high school, so we're doing that. So accomplishments for my wife and I, we've, making progress in our careers. And just, overall, those, those kind of milestones. I know you have little ones, and Jacob is pretty, he's pretty big, though. He's a pretty big kid here, you can see. So, but, I mean, as they get older, I'm telling you, I'm getting the rabbit ears.
You're getting rabbit ears, yeah. So, yeah, no, I mean, I've got, my wife and boys, we're all doing well. For anyone who's been listening for a while, just about a year ago, I had my diabetes diagnosis, and that's now under control. I mean, it's still something I got to watch. It's still something I got to monitor, but I'm doing pretty well in terms of keeping all of that under control, keeping my sugar down, and doing that kind of stuff. So that's been going well. Tyler, as most people know, my older son is in soccer, which I'm involved in. He's in competitive soccer, so he's doing well there. Jacob is in Cub Scouts, and I know you and I talked a lot about those camping trips that we were going on. So
I'm grateful you have time to sleep.
Exactly. So Jacob, come here. Do you like being in Cub Scouts?
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about being in Cub Scouts?
My favorite part is probably having fun at camping and the activities we do.
Ooh,
okay.
That sounds good.
Did you like camping a couple weeks ago when we went camping?
Yeah, but the only part I didn't like was sleeping. I didn't like it.
You just wanted to be up all night hanging out with your friends?
No.
No?
It was freezing.
It was kind of cold out there. I will admit, it was kind of cold out there. I had to have the blanket pulled up all over my head. It was so cold. It was now cold for Floridians.
Floridians, right? That's what I was about to say. It's 60?
It was, yeah, no, it was in the 50s.
Oh, okay, all right. We'll give you that then.
It was in the 50s. But yeah, he's doing Cub Scouts. Tyler's doing soccer. So yeah, they've got their extracurricular activities. We did go on the Gasparilla float last year, which we're doing again this coming year. We dressed up as pirates and went on the Gasparilla float. Yeah, we got to wear bandanas and pirate gear and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
So cool. So I don't know what else is out there. What other lessons can we maybe take for the listeners for this Thanksgiving episode? Let's give them some Let's give them some meat on the bone.
Some meat in the bone.
Let's give them some content.
Health is important. Obviously, not only just, eating well. I feel like I'm eating better, exercising more. So obviously very important. As much as we'd like to be great, business owners and family people, if we're not healthy, if we're not keeping and taking care of ourselves, those kind of things itself are going to be what set us back. So for me, health-wise, mentally as well is a good thing too, because we can drive ourselves a little too stressful in our lives, and that's another thing we got to keep under control.
I think that is one of the lessons that I took from this year. I'm enjoying everything that I'm doing in terms of the Cub Scouts and the soccer and the law firm and the podcast and Podfest and all that kind of stuff. Gasparilla and being on the HOA board. No, I am enjoying all of that stuff. However, I think as some of that stuff comes up for renewal, I may not volunteer.
I could see why
to do it going into next year. Some of that stuff I may no longer volunteer.
Plan
to do.
Your succession plan. The successor, man. Because I agree. I sometimes we want to give back to the community. We want to give back, be involved, do as much as we can. But we got to know the limits. You know how it is itself. We got to make sure that we are available to the family, available to the things that are important to us from a business standpoint. But at the same time, I get it. We want to give back so much, but hey, you got to sleep, you got to enjoy, you got to do some stuff too. So very important there. And I'm happy for you, my friend. That's next year's problem, right?
That's the January resolution episode, right?
Exactly. We'll plan that one.
Right. So, from a business perspective, the law firm's doing well. I believe we've exceeded, as we record this, which is middle of November, we've exceeded last year's revenue.
Congrats.
So, the law firm is still on an upward trajectory. The podcast is doing well. We still have, like I said, we've got our sponsors. We've got the Patreon page. I've got clients from the podcast, people that have listened to the podcast that have wanted to consult with me. So the podcast is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Nice.
So everything so far is going well.
It sounds like, hey, I hear you on accomplishments. For me, it's helping multiple clients. I've been building a great network of referral partners and just partners in general to really help my clients out. So once again, as much as I'd like to learn and do as much as I can in this whole process, I'm also trying to figure out, how can I make sure that we're helping them at all angles? So again, hey, a great bankruptcy lawyer, right? A great tax person. We've got, financial advisors itself, that when people are ready to invest and do that, they have the right people they can trust. Because that's hard. It's, there's so many people, so many yahoos out there.
Right.
But you want to make sure that you surround yourself with the right people. And obviously, I want to trust sending my clients to people that I would, do business with. So that's what I've been, kind of working through, having people who save their first, emergency fund for, the first $1,000 or, getting out of their first big debts and things of that nature. So that's the stuff that we've been those are the accomplishments that I've been helping our clients as well. And it makes me feel good, at the end of the day, to be able to provide value to the people I help. That's again, sounds small, but
no, making sure,
man.
Making sure you have your team put together, making sure you got the right team, making sure you got the right people on the bus. We did have a staff turnover here at the office, and we will miss the person who left, although we did part on good terms. We will miss her being here, but we have a new person here at the office that is doing really well. So, we're happy to have her on board, her as part of the team. I know from the podcast perspective, happy to have you on board on the show.
I have to say, never thought I would be part of something. Obviously meeting you as a network person, a networking partner as well. But at the same time, just the opportunity to be able to do something this cool with someone. All right, I'm not gonna. He's cool.
Someone's calling me cool. That's pretty awesome.
Hey, once in a while, again, we gotta be thankful, right? So, but no, this is. Again, just the opportunity to be able to, voice our opinions, to be able to give great advice. I say it's great advice.
I think it's good advice.
And be able to have fun with it. I think those are the things that I'm always I'm grateful for and thankful that every day I get the opportunity to be able to get up and do these things and try again, fail and yet try again the next day. It's the beauty of life.
Well, and I'm having a good time. Right now we're in the middle of football season.
Yay.
and my Noles beat up on a really bad University of Miami football team, but I'm
true.
still riding the high from that because I grew up in Miami, and so anytime I can beat my hometown team, that's a good thing. And that leads into my Thanksgiving plans. I mean, we typically, when we play the University of Florida in Tallahassee, we all go up to Tallahassee. So this year, looking forward to making a trip and spending Thanksgiving with my family. Next year, when the Florida State game is in Gainesville, my Tallahassee family will come down here, and so we'll spend Thanksgiving with my wife's family.
Nice.
What about you? What do you have planned for Thanksgiving?
Well, I got to say, I will be visiting in-laws, and so here's the thing. Everybody lives in different parts of the country, right? So New York, Philadelphia, North Carolina, Florida, so everybody's spread out everywhere. And what we're looking to do is get everybody from my wife's side of the family. We haven't done this in many, many years, but everybody into one location and just celebrate just having all the grandkids, the kids, the adults, and everybody in one location. So it's going to be a crazy time. It's probably going to be terrible because obviously everybody, has an opinion, and it's going to be like blah, 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 and all that craziness that happens at Thanksgiving. But it's still going to be, we're going to be thankful that everybody is here, everybody's healthy, and we're able to eat some terrible turkey because I don't think it's going to be. It's not fried. I like fried.
Dude, one of the things I'll probably mention next year when we do Thanksgiving at my house, and for those of you that like bad dad jokes, strap yourselves in.
Get ready.
So that one of the things I enjoy doing, one of the things I'm proud of is I have the big green egg.
Yes.
The smoker, the charcoal grill or smoker. Well, one year we did a turkey in the oven, but then we do something on the egg. We smoke something on the egg, brisket or pork loin or something. A couple of years ago, we smoked ham. And so we had green eggs and ham for Thanksgiving.
Oh, boy.
But yeah,
he's here all day, people.
I love Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I love the leftovers more than anything else.
I gotta say though, we do make a lot of food. I'm more into the desserts, so I enjoy. Obviously you're gonna eat all day, so it's like you prepare yourself a few days before. Like you got a ration, so you have a great. But you're right. The turkey, the ham. Again. It's turkey, not a huge fan, but I'll eat it. I'll sacrifice for the day. Your ham, I like that. The rice, the mashed potatoes, all that good stuff.
Mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole.
Oh my goodness!
Gosh, what else?
I'm hungry already.
Mac and cheese. Gosh, I can't even think of all the different kinds of foods we'll have.
My nephew, he makes a very mean mac and cheese itself, and he does some extra layer of blah blah blah. And again, it's a family secret. I was like, who cares? It tastes good. Save me some more for Friday.
My brother-in-law's father makes deviled eggs.
Okay,
we get deviled eggs. We get. We'll probably bring some gator tail up there and cook the gator tail.
There you go.
We got to. It's the gator game.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So is there any wagers of like, hey, if Florida wins, you got to wear their jersey for a week or anything like that?
Well, so I only have one cousin in the family who went to Florida. She did, ironically, she went undergrad and law school. She went to University of Florida. And just recently, so she's going to be there on Thanksgiving because just recently they got season tickets to the Gator games. And so she'll be going to Tallahassee, sitting in the Gator section. She's got tickets. But up until this year, I don't even know that she understood what a football was. So
okay,
we didn't really have to worry about.
Gotcha.
She didn't really understand.
Like, is that a volleyball team?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Gotcha.
Now this year, because she's been going to the games, because she's got home tickets to the Gator games, she may kind of understand that if they win the game, they win the game. She may understand that, but
she may talk a little trash. But
but so far we haven't had a lot of
good.
No, I mean most of she's the only one that's a Gator. The rest of my family are all FSU Noles or will root for the Noles.
Obviously, that's good, man. And again, the time to give thanks for our family itself. But just remember, there's a lot of folks itself that are struggling out there still. Even though we got the recession, we've got high prices. People trying to do as much as they can to make ends meet. Obviously, for yourself, the local food pantries. Make sure you do some donations there. donate some of your time if there's anything that can be that we can do from that perspective. Look for ways to give back to the community. I think those are it's that time of year, man, where it's like it's not about just receiving itself. It's that giver's mentality.
Well, and I know typically you and I are both in BNI,
Yep.
albeit in different chapters. Right around this time of year, we may have actually kind of dropped the ball on it, but the last couple of years we've done something called the Hunger Games. And so all the chapters get together, and what we do is we play games. So, different putting puzzles together and playing Jenga and playing cornhole and playing, all those different kinds of physical activities and games and that kind of stuff. But what we do is all the chapters in the region get together and we all bring food. Disposable food for the food banks. And so we've made tremendous donations to some of the local food banks over the last couple of years. We have, in my neighborhood, we have an annual food drive. And so the whole neighborhood gets together and puts food out on the curb, non-perishable, non-disposable.
Of course. Right.
And we collect that. And I think my neighborhood actually either holds the record or is very close to the record of the largest neighborhood donation in Tampa Bay. So we do that every year. But even going down to, one thing that reminded me of when you're talking about somebody who may have to file bankruptcy or may be in financial trouble. So two things occur to me. The first is that the bankruptcy budget has a space on there for charitable donations.
Okay.
So you can be in bankruptcy and still donate.
Okay.
Now, if the donation is, 90% of your salary, the trustees can have a problem with it. But I think the U.S. Constitution and the federal case law says, separation of church and state and all that stuff.
Right.
They can't prohibit you from continuing to donate, even if you're in bankruptcy. So even those people that might feel like they're less fortunate because they're having some financial issues, even to donate a few dollars or like you said, donate time. I think my wife every year tries to get our older son, and at some point I assume she'll incorporate Jacob as well, to go work some of the food banks, and go work some of the food lines and do that kind of stuff. The other thing that occurs to me is to just do what you can, kind of do what you can to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Especially during this time of the year, during Thanksgiving time of the year.
I agree. And, listen to family. Family is the first place, right? We always got to, there's always someone who's in need and it doesn't have to necessarily be finance or anything like that. It could just be a listening ear, someone to talk to, somebody to be able to bounce it. Remember, we're all stressed.
And what I said earlier, actually, I was probably wrong. It doesn't have to be just this time of year. It can be all year.
I agree, but you know how it is. You got to start somewhere. So might be a great time. Everybody's in that festive mood. Everybody's starting to take the time to be able to start. If you haven't done it all year, hey, you know what? We still got 43 days left in the year. Never too late to start any new habits and build new relationships from that. So that's how I look at it.
And even if it's something like maybe you go through your closet and you see what clothes are still in good shape that don't fit you anymore.
Absolutely.
And you donate those to some organization, or if you have some other stuff in your house that you want to try to part with and that's in relatively good shape, you can donate some of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of non-budgetary things you can do to help out this time of year as well.
Damn, I like the idea. Mr. Yesner here knows what he's talking about and spreading some good cheer already at the beginning of this holiday season itself. So, but hey, are your ornaments up already? Is that, or is it still too early to kind of like lights are flickering and Santa's already trying to make his evil heads pop out of some kind of chimney?
Still too early for us. I'm more of a traditionalist. We'll get through Thanksgiving and then we'll start decorating the house.
Hear ya, but my wife she's getting a little fidgety now. She's like, we got to buy the lights. We've got to get prepared. What are we going to hang up? When is Mariah Carey going to make her appearance every day on every news or radio station? And so yeah, all of that's coming, and we're pretty grateful for that. Sure.
It's coming, but I am more traditional. I'm going to wait. We're going to get through Thanksgiving, and then we're going to decorate for the next one.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we're probably going to wait till the Friday. That's it. That's all you get. It's so when this episode drops, the next day I'm already outside, putting up lights and hanging up ornaments.
Well, if you're listening to this episode on the 24th, then thank you and happy Thanksgiving. And I can't believe that's the highlight of your day is listening to our podcast on Thanksgiving.
Number one podcast out there. I'm going to throw that out there already itself.
what I realized, we may be the longest running legal podcast in Tampa Bay.
I was going to say Mr. Yesner. Yes, I would imagine it. But I appreciate the we in there. I'll take the French word.
The longest running legal podcast in all of Tampa Bay.
That makes you and I number one.
There you go. But if you happen to be listening to this on Friday, I will probably be a couple of Bloody Marys deep, getting ready. The Florida State game is Friday this year, so
nice.
I'll probably be a couple of Bloody Marys deep by then, getting ready for tailgating and football and all that kind of stuff. So, kind of a shorter episode this week, but anything else you want to mention before we wrap up?
I would say that I am looking forward to the holiday season. Everybody else, one day at a time. I know stressful time during this time of year. I would say let's get back to a money tip itself. Try to use more cash than debt when it comes to the gifts that we're looking to purchase. And it's set a budget. Set a budget for even the end of year when it comes to gift giving. As much as we like to give everybody the gold Rolexes and the iPads itself, let's stay within budget and enjoy the time. Don't get stressed about which gift and how much and all that. Again, the purpose of the holidays really should be around family, enjoying time with friends, and eating a ton of good food.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, it is really the thought that counts. It's not.
That's a good question, though, Shawn. What do you want? What would you like for Christmas? I got to start asking that. Well, I know. It's whiskey.
For me, it's bourbon. It's easy. Bourbon or vodka or something. It's easy. I'm easy. But I mean, I do really think it's the thought that counts. I flashed to The Big Bang Theory in Sheldon, who, whenever he would get a gift, what's the cost of this gift? I got to get an equally priced gift for the person that gave me. I'm not really into that. I mean, if somebody gives me a great gift and it's heartfelt and it's something that they enjoy giving to me, and I'm going to give them something back, and whether mine costs more or theirs costs more. And, if that's something that's worrying you in terms of, do I have enough money to buy Christmas gifts for everybody? Start now. Start saving up, a few bucks now. Or if you start saving now, by the time we get to Christmas 2023, you will have saved up enough money that you can comfortably go out and buy a whole bunch of Christmas presents or whatever it is you want to buy.
That'll be on the New Year's resolution episode, right? To kind of say, like, what can I do differently that I didn't do this year itself? And guys, the first thing we're going to say is budget. Have a plan so you can actually achieve those goals that we keep telling ourselves each year.
Exactly. So the other one that we are thankful for is our other sponsor, Sam Cohen with Attorneys First Insurance. Those of you know he writes errors and omissions coverage, malpractice coverage for attorneys and title companies all over the country. He does have a particular focus on Florida because he's here, and he also has a particular focus on Texas and Alaska. And you know what? I did ask him why the other day, and he gave me an answer. However, what he said was that the reason he's focused on Texas and Alaska is because those are areas where he has sponsored continuing education. And so that's why Texas and Alaska, because he's sponsored continuing legal education or continuing title education in those states. Now, why he picked those states for the continuing education, I guess, is the next question.
That's the next question.
But
come on, follow up, buddy.
But he sponsors education in those states as well, and so and I think he sponsors education all over the country in terms of legal education and continuing title education. I know there's a huge title insurance seminar in Orlando every year, and I know Attorneys First is always a sponsor out there. So if you are a title company or own a title company, or if you own your own law firm, or if you're an attorney at a law firm and you want to quote on your insurance coverage, your malpractice, your E&O coverage, it's sam@attorneysfirst.com, which is also the website, attorneysfirst.com. Other than that, a great way, something else that we're thankful for is the Patreon page. And so go check that out.
The listeners, right? The subscribers, everybody.
Yeah, we absolutely appreciate you listening. If you want to do a little bit more than listening, we would love it if you checked out the Patreon page. But if all you do is listen, we are thankful for that as well. Other than that, the social medias, the Curbelo Financial TikTok, Yesner Law. I'm going to try to give some more love to the Yesner Law YouTube page. Hopefully, we'll start getting
the videos
up
there. Yeah. Exactly.
other than that, happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yo, same to you, my friend. Thank you for including me in your family, and I appreciate you immensely. And I would say thank you to everyone listening as well.
Yeah, but are you going to say the line?
Oh, of course I'm going to say the line. Let's see how we're going to do this. All right, so we are here to help you so that you have more money at the end of the month than more month at the end of the money.
Nice job.
Woohoo!
So that'll do it for this week's episode. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Everybody have a happy holiday. And we will talk to you in next week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast.
If you have questions that you think would make a great topic for a future episode, please email Shawn or connect with us on social media. Shawn Yesner and Yesner Law, PL, are Florida licensed attorneys. The information contained in this week's episode is not a substitute for legal advice. Your situation may differ, especially if you are located somewhere other than the state of Florida. If you have questions, please contact our office or contact a local attorney. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast.